fond of the phrase where you say, if you have a quarter, there's only so many things that you can do.
Yeah.
Right? But if you don't have a quarter, there's an unlimited number of things you can do.
Oh man, that's gonna whittle in my mind for the next 10 years.
Yeah. And it's like this, it's like once you're in the world of the technicity, once you're in the small world of the self within the inframing,
Yeah.
and you have a stock set of choices amongst which you choose.
Right.
You
Right.
are in
Right.
the world. And
Yeah.
education, in this Heideggerian sense, as you're saying, is like teaching you how to make choices within the existing world.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
education as he would desire it, I can imagine, which is what Peterson is doing, which I'll say, which is what the dark web is ultimately about.
Yeah.
It's about questioning the set of choices. Right, and if there's any Marxian critique of capitalism and consumerism that I find valuable, is like you talk about Plano, Texas. It's like, okay, which restaurant are we going to go to? Which movie are we going to go to? Which pre-chosen, pre-packaged set of options do I choose among? Right, right,
Yeah.
and Warner would say that's not that's a decision. What we want is choice.
Yeah.
And choice is certainly how we relate to the existing decisions, but even more, there's this possibility that goes beyond the quarter, that goes beyond which restaurant are we going to go to? Which show are we going to watch on television? Which purse am I going to buy? Which status symbol am I going to invest in next, such that I can have the thing which solidifies the self within the world?
Yep.
Right? Which one do you choose within?
Yep.
That when I look at the dark web, when I look at Jordan Peterson, as reflected in his Joe Rogan interviews, and Dave Rubin is also great at this. It's like, okay, let's create an open space for people to actually unfold their ideas so that we can encounter them. Let's actually get intimate with them. Who are they? Not how do they fit into our prepackaged questions. And then you take the IQ interview or the Kathy Newman or the Vice or any of these interviews in which there's a value to having a very specific question. And saying, okay, great, I have a series of 3 boxes. Which of these boxes do you fit in?
Yeah.
Right? Look, from what you've said, you fit in this box, right? Isn't that so? So what you're really saying is, right, I'm going to take a prepackaged world and I'm going to fit you in it.
Yep.
I'm polarizing. These are the choices. You can either be this or this. Right? And this is the dominant frame. This is what the technicity of modern television or whatever has come down to. You've got a certain amount of gatekeepers who control the narrative, who control the world within which you can show up. They control the horizon.
Totally.
And what the dark web is doing, and when I look at all of the various players in the dark web, all of them are questioning the set of options. Right? And it shows up. It shows up when the interview says, you better damn fit into this box. And Jordan Peterson says, no. Like, I'm going to give you an answer which is outside of any of your boxes. Now, I'm offering you a new horizon.
Yep.
What do you do with it?
Yeah.
And they say, no, I'm going to try to put you back into the box. And he says, no, here's another horizon. Right? I can take any box you give me. Like you said, he's a boy who likes to fight.
Yep.
I am a boy who likes to fight.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
yeah, let's get into a conversation in which you try to put me into a box because I know how to take apart boxes.
Yep. Totally. Totally.
Right? Now, I do it with a greater sense of humor and playfulness than Peterson, but Peterson's under a lot more pressure than me, perhaps. But I like to take apart boxes. He basically says, look, you're trying to give me this order and fit me inside of your tyrannical order, and I don't fit. How do you like them apples? And the more they do that, the more they show up as fixed.
Right.
And I really like what you're saying, and call it a circling move, call it just a shifting of the logical level.
Yep. Totally.
In this typical interview mode, you are focused on me.
Yep.
You
Yep.
are setting frames within which I answer.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to switch the nature of this game
Yeah.
and make it about how we're conversing.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm going to include you in the
Yeah.
conversation. Not just your questions, but
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Right? And when he did that with Kathy Newman,
That's exactly. That was the key.
He shifted the conversation from answering her questions to drawing attention to the dynamic in the room, to the actual conversation, the thing that was happening, the thing that people are actually there experiencing, but that wasn't the focus of the conversation. In postmodern terms, right, you've got a dominant narrative, and the dominant narrative is we're in this context where I'm asking you questions, your job is to defend yourself, and it becomes clear after 4, 5, 10 minutes, 15 seconds, that this is not a Joe Rogan conversation. This is not a Dave Rubin conversation where someone's actually asking you a question and you are actually sharing yourself with their intention to understand and be understood and be accepted. That is not the game. It is not a game of intimacy.
Yep.
This is a game of gotcha.
Yep.
This is a game of you fit into the box, and I have succeeded in putting you in the box that I want you in because that serves my agenda. So it becomes obvious at some point that that's the game.
Yep.
Everybody sees it, but the dominant narrative is that that game is concealed. We are not talking about that game. There's the world, and here are all the choices within the world. And Jordan Peterson worlds.
Yep.
He says, how are we worlding this conversation?
Totally.
What's going on here? When he did that with Kathy Newman, when he did it with, I'm the evil capitalist.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Which implicitly brings in the conversation and what's the move that's being done in the conversation. Right? He did that in the Vice interview. Right? He's good at doing that. And when he does that, it opens up a new world, a new horizon.
Yeah.
And this is the dark web's, like when I look at all the characters in the dark web, all of them go beyond the choices available.
Yeah. Totally.
They actually call attention to what is the actual issue that we're looking at. I don't know if you saw Brett Weinstein's conversation with Sam Harris.
I think I started watching it and then I got distracted and I didn't.
It is epic. And Sam Harris, as he's going into it, just starts asking him all of the questions that are fraught. They are the dark web questions. These are the questions that we in the dark web are willing to confront. And he starts asking him these questions. He's all, well, you can answer this question, not that it's dangerous. Like, what do you think about the wage gap? What do you think about sex and gender? What do you think of, and Sam Harris is like, I just can't believe I'm doing this. I'm just like leading you down. It's not the primrose path. It's like the path to hell. I'm just throwing you every question that you could possibly lose your career over. And Brett Weinstein is like, I love taking across boxes. Right? Yes. Yeah. Okay, great. Let me give you a real answer.
Answer.
I'm not going to fit inside your boxes. I'm going to go outside the box.
Yep.
I'm going to open the space of dialogue so that we can actually talk about things beyond the boxes of this framework.
Yep.
and this the political correctness conversation with Dyson and Fry and the
Right.
it's like there's this question of political correctness. Political correctness, from my perspective, if I were to define it using the terms of this conversation,
Yeah.
is political correctness is a very tight horizon.
Yeah. It's the essence of technicity. Yeah.
Right. It's the essence where what we're looking to do is to define whether or not an idea and a person fits inside of a box. And that's where the conversation ends.
Yep. Yep. Totally.
Once we've got you in the box, we can now use you as a thing. We have given you in the worst case scenario, we have given you your number. We have taken away your name.
Yep.
You are now a thing. Your subjectness is now gone. You are an object.
Yes. In which we will order you inside of it and show everyone else like you, and you're done.
Yes, and the places where Jordan has been breaking it is when he calls attention to that process.
Yes, right.
And the dark web in general, the players in the intellectual dark web they're challenging the boxes.